Hello, guys. Welcome back once again to this new tarot reading. This time I'm going to continue with the bond and duo tarot readings series. Actually, it I didn't feel it like a series since the requests started to come, and the more I get comfortable, especially with those that I have done individual readings for, to compare their energies, or maybe to see if their friendship or their bond with their, maybe with other idol member, or with someone that they had worked with or have some kind of relationship that is confirmed. Then I can see, I can get in touch better with the energy. So today I'm going to do a request that was made to me. Stray Kids Lino and Han. So let's see a bit about their connection, how they view each other, how do they feel for each other, and always been very respectful. So no shipping, guys. No, just take everything with with an open mind, and also be respectful to one another. Um, Actually, Lino, I believe, is official. My Stray Kids bias. There's something about him that I find intriguing. There's something about him that is. I know he can be a bit that he can be a bit clumsy, in the sense that he has a weird sense of humor, and that he likes to tease other members. He is a bit of a bad boy in that sense, but there's something about him that it's so fun and adorable to watch. It's like it hypnotizes you. Um, and I loved the part of the song, that the cover that they did for Kingdom. I screamed out loud when I saw that he got a chance where he could sing a line at least, and I was really excited for him, because I'm not a I'm not an stay. I don't know much, but the few things I saw when it comes to MBs, I didn't see him very much. Like when it comes to time on the screen, especially in the singing, or I don't even know if he raps or sings or does both things. I only know he's a great dancer, but I don't know. I'm learning still, so bear with me. Have patience. Um, and in the case of Han also surprised me, because I thought he was, originally I thought he was a rapper, and I thought that he was only a rapper, and then I saw him on Kingdom in that song that I listen like every day, because I love the version that they did and the original too. Um, that I'm glad that I'm watching this show, because I didn't know about these other groups that are seniors. Like I wasn't into K-pop when these songs were a hit. So I'm glad that I'm like going through all these amazing performances, and also listening to other songs that, if it wasn't for this show, maybe I wouldn't be finding out that they existed. So in the case of Han, I saw him also singing, and I was really impressed by the power of his voice, and also not only the harmony and how talented he is, but also the feeling, the way he expressed his emotions. I think he's a great singer. So let's go with the cards that came out for them. I placed Lino in the left and Han on the right. So the cards that came out for I'm going to talk about astrological aspects. I know Lino it's a Scorpio with the moon in Sagittarius, and Han it's a Virgo sun with a moon in Pisces. So let's go a bit with them. Just to start, I want to make like a small like interpretation of why I think that these two elements of their birth charts are really important and are very telling of maybe how well they get along with each other, or maybe why they may have a good chemistry and communication. They can be good to each other. Actually, Scorpio and Virgo, they tend to get along very well. They especially because of they both are really good with details, and they are great observers. They just see everything. Nothing passes the test of this of their pair of eyes, because they are just very detail oriented, and they actually um are very good at collecting data or collecting information, because they pay extra attention to details. So they can definitely, and they're very savage when it comes to their sharp comments. They tend to make really sharp comments about other people. um so, but also what I was seeing, that really I found that it was um very important, I believe, especially when it comes to getting close to Lino, because Lino is a Scorpio, and I believe that he is the only Scorpio in the group. And a Scorpio can be sometimes very intimidating for the other sun signs. And also in the case that Lino, his moon is in Sagittarius, so he tends to be blunt, and he tends to be very straightforward, because this moon is in a fire sign. So he can be more intimidating, even because it's like sometimes a Scorpio, it depends with the other planets that actually are around his birth chart. But when it comes to having a fire moon, it means that he is very expressive, and that he is very honest about his true feelings, and he's also very spontaneous. So, for example, if he doesn't like something, or if he um, or if he doesn't agree to something, he will probably say it just straight away. He will say it just once. He will be very open, or maybe you can see in his face, he will be very like transparent, in that sense that you can look at him and just know what he's thinking, whether he agrees or disagrees on something. And it's not that actually Scorpio people are not like that. It's just that sometimes Scorpio people tend to hide a bit in the shadows, and they tend to be more introvert, and they tend to enjoy being in the background, or maybe being like in the corner where no one can see them, or maybe if there's something that they are not comfortable with, they tend to like not disappear, but they tend to just hang out in the shadows. And it's like and sometimes they're very expressionless, so you don't know whether they love you or they hate you. You don't know where you stand with them, because they have this aura of being really mysterious, and also of like holding back a lot when it comes to being expressive. They tend to hide their emotions a lot, because they feel so much inside that they try to repress a bit of their true nature, because they know how intimidating and powerful and demanding they can be. So they try to like to hide it a bit, especially with people that they don't know. But in the case of Lino, I think that Lino has this Sagittarius energy because of his moon, that he is very straightforward. That he actually just wants to be. He just wants to have fun. It's like he shows himself. He shows that yes, he is opinionated. Yes, he has all the traits of being a Scorpio. He's going to be stinging at you with his tail, and he's going to give you the poison of him every once in a while, whether he loves you or he hates you, you will receive it anyways. And he will probably, yes, be very emotional and be very like on the defensive if you hurt him or if you try to somehow make fun of him. He will definitely go after you. But since his moon is in Sagittarius, he probably will be more open minded and will be more able to maybe laugh it off, to try to find the funny part of the situation, and not to be so, not to be so maybe vengeful, or not trying to hold on too tight to when he gets offended. It means that he can let go of these negative emotions, or maybe these deep emotions of anger and resentment. He can let it go more easily because of his moon in Sagittarius. So he is a bit of a free spirit when it comes to this. But also, what I was seeing is that since Han has a moon in Pisces, I think that this is what allows him to get closer to Linos in a very special way, especially because Pisces energy tends to give this person an aura of kindness and an aura of acceptance and an aura of someone that is very pure, someone that is not, that yes, it can be hard to define his energy actually, but he has something about him that you see him, for example, you see him smile, or you see him interacting, or you see him talking about something, and you are like, oh, he's such a nice guy. Or there's something about him that about his energy, about Hans' energy, that you are like, he's such a nice person. And he is not petty at all. He is really, he's also really spontaneous and funny, but at the same time, he doesn't take things seriously. He just flows, he just goes with the flow, he is the flow. So he has this water element, this moon in water, that I think that clicks really well with Lino's nature. I think that even though Han is a Virgo sun, they may not be talking about feelings and being all emotional and being all over each other, but actually there's a sentiment, there's a feeling in the air or in the connection of them that seems really profound, or at least seems like they are connected by like um, a force that a force that cannot be seen, but you can feel it, or you can be like, oh yes, I can see that whenever they are interacting, they feel at ease with each other. That, because actually I see Lino being really on the defensive when it comes to interacting with other people. I think he sometimes um he tends to analyze people too much. Like, he tends to observe people too much, and he's like always questioning why people do what they do. He's like always on this detective mode. So he's very distrustful at first. But there's something about Hans' nature that makes him feel comfortable, that makes him feel non-threatened. He feels really that he can be himself, and that Hen has this kind of being understanding and also not judgmental. So, because yes, Lino sometimes does have these petty comments, or maybe he has this dark humor that if you are very sensitive, or maybe if you are someone that you have an ego, or you have like a strong personality, maybe there are some things about the way he says things that will hurt your feelings. And I don't think that Lino is the one is I mean, his intention is not to hurt anyone's feelings, but I don't think that he will also be able to be like, oh yes, I'm sorry I hurt your feelings. He just has this presence of, well, yes, I said what I said, and I will not take it back, because um yes, there's something about his nature that actually he's really good at observing people, and he just knows people. I think I I talked about this when I did Lino's individual reading, that he really knows people. He's very observant, and he's much more intuitive that he would like to people to see of him. um but yes, he knows people, and also he's really smart. But when it comes to be maybe a bit tactful, or maybe be a bit of a diplomat, and learning how to express his ideas in a way where the other person won't feel attacked, he struggles with that, because if for him it's like words come out, and the way they come out is just fine. He doesn't feel like he has to apologize to anyone. So sometimes these can create a certain of tension between people that maybe will not say it to his face that they are offended, but it creates a weird environment there. Especially because he doesn't allow you to fight back. I mean, if you get offended by a comment that he made, if you respond to him with the same sharpness, or just the fact that you will talk back to him, he will fight back even harder. So there's no place for you to be like, okay, I can win this conversation, or I can win this interaction, because actually Lino, it's really good at he's very dominating in that sense. He just takes over of every conversation, and also because he's really smart. He's really smart intellectually, but he's not smart emotionally. He knows he knows his ideas, he knows his points of view are strong, but he just doesn't know how to deliberate them deliberate them. Sorry, I'm stuck in that word. He doesn't know how to express them in a polite way. That's what I'm saying. Um, so let's move on to the tarot cards, because I think I talk more about astrology than nothing else. So the cards that came out for him is the Four of Cups, the Four of Swords, and the Star. So yes, I have the feeling that he sees. He's really happy that Han is part of the group. I think he wasn't really expecting to click, or maybe to connect so much with Han. He wasn't sure about who Han was. He wasn't sure if he really liked Han at first, because I see him like being really. At first, he was really detached, and he actually didn't want to get involved with anyone emotionally, because I think that maybe the process in where he was casted, he he felt like he wasn't good enough, and that he was doing all these efforts for nothing. So I think that he went through a time where he wanted to quit, actually, in the sense of before getting casted, or actually I don't know how they casted the group, but I feel that there were a lot of instances where he felt like he wouldn't make it, or that he felt like he wasn't talented enough, so, and or that he didn't have anything to bring to the table. So he felt a bit insecure, so that's why he didn't want to make like a connection, or he didn't want to get attached emotionally to anyone. Um, I think that there were a lot of times, even after he debuted, that he felt really lonely, that he felt really misunderstood, actually. He is like he went to train, he went to work, he went to do all the activities, but somehow he wasn't there, because there was this he was like almost like protecting himself from exposing his feelings, or getting attached to the members easily. And then, for example, he had a fear, I don't know why, but he had this fear of being let go, of that someone one day would be like, "Oh, we got news for you. You didn't make it to the team," or "Oh, yes, you were part of the team, but now we decided that you will not be continuing with us." He was expecting the bad news. Actually, he was more in this sense that he just wanted things to be over, and he just wanted to hear the news or to hit the resolution, and he went through a lot of stress, especially when it came to his own validation. I think there were a lot of feedbacks that were done to him that were actually really harsh. And he tried to, because he's a Scorpio, obviously, he tried to overcome his fears, and he didn't complain, and he did everything that everyone were expecting him to do. Because he's really hardworking. He's not a quitter, but there were a lot of times where he wanted to quit, actually, because he felt like there were a lot of feedbacks that were done to him that were really unfair. Maybe, I don't know, there's something about him feeling like he wasn't good enough to be part of the group, like or feeling that he wasn't handsome enough, or that he didn't have the charisma that maybe others did. He felt really down in those moments. So I think that connecting with Han was like something that it was almost like a gift. It was something that was really, I think it's a connection that actually was meant to be, that actually whenever he's feeling anxious, or whenever he's feeling he doubts himself, he talks to Han, or he interacts with Han, and he feels like he recovered a lot of his energy. I think there were moments, I don't know why, but there were moments where he felt that no one liked him in the group. And maybe this is like an individual perception of himself, because he was feeling really insecure about himself as an overall mood. But he definitely thought they didn't like him, like he didn't belong to the group, like everyone were like getting to know each other, and maybe some would hang out with others, and he just felt like this lonely kid at the playground, that he was left alone and no one pick him to play with, or something like that. But then eventually he started to open up a little bit. Like I said, he has this energy of being really awkward when it comes to, maybe sometimes maybe it wasn't that the others didn't like him, it's just that he had this attitude of yes, I'm better off alone. Like I can be on my own, I don't mind, and I'm not here to make any friends, the kind of mentality, because he was hurting inside, so it was his pride that was trying to cover everything. So I think that maybe Han was the first one of the first persons, people, one of the first members he had like a conversation, a deep conversation, with no cameras around, just a deep conversation about how he truly felt in that time. And I think he felt misunderstood, or actually, I don't think that actually Han did anything special to get Lino to like him. I think it's just his presence. I think there's something about Han that is really healing, and that I think that he's a great listener also, and that he has this motto in life. This small phrase that I think that it's about letting go, or maybe letting go of past wounds, of letting go of expectations, of let's not complicate ourselves too much with with our inner with our inner doubts. Let's just move on. Let's just laugh. Let's just have fun. Let's just release control and just wait for good things to come. I think it's this mentality that actually inspired Lino to open up a little bit to him and become closer to him. Because I don't think that Lino is someone that you can get close to in an intimate way. I think he's very protective and jealous of his intimacy. Like, of course, he can do it in front of the cameras because actually some things are like, yes, they are put in a room to chat with each other and they are on camera and they are filmed and you can watch it. But I'm talking about in real life conversation, like behind closed doors, like in the intimacy of their everyday interactions. So in the case of Han, we have the Seven of Pentacles, the Four of Pentacles, and the Emperor. So the way he saw his vision of Lino is that Lino is very hardworking, and that maybe somehow Lino needed a bit of training and needed maybe a bit of time to really discover and being able to show his true potential. I think he saw in Lino a lot of talent, but he sees Lino as this, as you can see, this woman that she is like, she's like watering the plants, and the fruits, the pentacles are there, they are glowing from the plant, but nevertheless, it's not time to pick them up yet. They are still part of the tree. They are still growing stronger. They are there, but it's not time to just take them. So I think that for him it was that maybe Lino also was a bit prideful when it comes to his um it was almost like he sensed that Lino was on a defensive mode because he felt like he wasn't ready in some aspects, like he needed training in other aspects that maybe others did have. So I think he saw a lot of potential in Lino, but he also saw Lino as someone very stubborn and someone that was maybe holding on too tight to the way he did things, to, oh yes, or maybe his own perception of how things are supposed to go or how things are supposed to be done. I think that he saw this stubbornness being played there, like for example, being like not being very flexible actually, and actually being too hard on himself, like being like, oh yes, I know my worth, but actually he was pretty insecure inside. It's like he tried to portray, or at least this is how Hans saw him the first time he met him. Like he tried to act like he was brave, like he had everything put together, and actually inside he was trembling and he was really insecure. And this is why I think that Han is really intuitive. Actually, I think he can absorb people's energy, and he just knows things about people that he doesn't even know how he knows, but he does. And there was something about, especially about Lino's body language, that actually let him on, or somehow expose him or expose his insecurities, or maybe the way he would not he would be stuck in certain situations. So for example, the way he would take these feedbacks, maybe he took them too personal, or he would like be too harsh on himself, or he would be like, oh yes, I need to work harder, I need to work harder, and he was like stuck in that mindset, and that mindset became toxic to himself and actually to his own ability to unleash the potential, because actually the key was to unleash the potential, not to hold it in, not to hold it tight, not to be like, oh yes, this is mine, this is mine. No, you have to give it to others, especially if you're an artist. You have to open up, you have to let art uh, art expression to speak through you. So you need to be flexible, so you need to be open, so you need to be like I said, like Han. I feel like Han is very good at this flowing with life, flowing with actions. Sometimes it seems like he doesn't have like like he's not very stable, but actually because his energy is so profound that it's all over the place. um and he definitely saw, I think he also saw in Lino that Lino was a bit of a spoiled brat, but in the sense that there was some kind of pride there, and there was like some kind of entitlement, but not in the sense of belonging to the group, just in the sense as himself as a person. I think that Lino gives a lot of only child vibes. That he is an only child, and he gives this vibe of yes, I know I'm loved. I know I have people who love me. I know I always get what I want. Eventually, so he had this attitude of actually being like this emperor, been sitting on his throne and waiting for the others. And actually, it's his own ego, because we know that inside he's very sensitive. But this is how Han viewed him. He viewed him like this, because Lino has this, like I said before, he's a Scorpio, so he does have a very dominating energy, and sometimes he can get a bit intense when it comes to getting what he wants. Or maybe uh, it's like if you want to spend time with him, you somehow need to compromise, and being like, oh yes, you can decide what we're going to eat or where we're going to go. Just yes, go decide. I just want to eat, or maybe I just want to spend time with you. Like, yes, you feel better by being the one choosing the menu. Okay, choose it. I think that it is also this kind of humility, that Han is very humble, and that um he's very compassionate. He just gets people, and he doesn't pretend to control anyone. So I think that his ability to go with the flow is what actually allow him to get closer to Mino, because he doesn't care about control. He doesn't care about who said this first or who did this first. He's not there for he definitely values uh, to be valued. I mean, he definitely loves recognition. He loves when people let him know that he's doing a great job as a person, as a companion, and maybe as a co-worker. He definitely enjoys a good feedback, but he also knows that relationships is not about a push and pull. It's not about the competition, and it's not about who is in charge and who is the one that is the submissive one. I think that he doesn't see it that way, and he has a way of accepting Lino, and accepting Lino with all his different traits, and with all his different facets, and with all his profoundness and his stubbornness. I think that Han is a really good friend in that case. Um, I think that definitely respect each other, and that's a very important ingredient in a relationship. So the cards that came out for the relationship overall is the Fool, the Free of Wands, and the King of Wands. So yes, they're definitely. I think that they are getting closer and closer when it comes to their dynamic, because they are in a period where they have to put a lot of effort and a lot of passion, and they feel really creative lately. So I think that this also, the fact that they can work together, and that they feel like they are getting to a good place when it comes to their efforts. They're feeling really proud. They are getting involved in a lot of creative process, and they are really excited about it. I think that they are really proud of themselves. They talk a lot about what they want to accomplish next, and they feel really good inside. They feel like they're doing a great job, and I believe they are. But it's good to see that they are really excited and looking forward to the next chapter. So maybe after this show, after Kingdom is over, maybe they will release other things, other kind of content. So I think that they are really excited that all this is happening for them, and that they are actually involved in the process, and they are also learning so much, and they feel so grateful, and they feel so strong, and they feel passionate actually, which is amazing because I have done reading for a lot of idols, and there are moments where they, as person, as people, we go through ups and downs, especially emotionally, and to see them actually getting closer to each other, to speak about how excited and how proud they are about everything they are going through right now, despite of all the hardships and everything, that the effort that they put, and that they are tired and that they are exhausted. They just have like a great vision for the future, and they talk about this a lot, and they share this passion together. So I believe that this relationship, this friendship will get stronger with time, and I believe that it's a great moment for them. I think that they are shining inside, and they are sharing this moment of great. Uh, they are receiving a lot of great insight when it comes to why they are doing this, why they are in the industry, and feeling like that they can bring so much, and they feel so proud of themselves, and they are also like cheering each other up a lot, like, oh yes, you did great there, oh yes, you did great in that part, and they are congratulating each other, and they're appreciating each other. So I feel them like really hyped, really like in a really good place when it comes to their worth, when it comes to how they view each other. It's like they are both in with this amount of energy, and they are sharing this. It's like they are empathizing, and they are getting closer because they feel the same. Because sometimes maybe it can happen that one of them is really excited and the other is not. But in this case, I think that the level of excitement and the level of feeling really proud of themselves, they are in that same stage right now. So they are talking about it, they are sharing it, and they're feeling really really strong and positive for what's to come. So I'm going to leave it, guys, here. I hope that you enjoyed it, and please, if you did, give it a like and subscribe if you haven't already. So thank you so much for being here. Bye.